How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Sixy Socks series. We call this that name just in case you're wondering because we are playing 6-inning games. As you can see, we won our last 3 games, the last 2 by a pretty wide margin. The first one was pretty close. If you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check out the playlist I've made on the series. As you can see, we are 3-0, as are the Monsters. Ahmed is in second place in home runs, and Pete is in second with hits. I really don't have a worry about that. I'm pretty sure we're gonna lead every category eventually, even errors, because I'm sure with the glitch that happens with home runs, Pete's errors are going to be sky high in center field. As you can see, last game, pretty good stats. Ernie and Luann are just horrible hitters, so I'm not expecting them to get a bunch of hits. They're just here for their defense and for their pitching and speed. I will move this around right now. Put Luann over here. Ahmed right there. And this is the normal setup that I have. Luann pitching or Amir pitching, one or the two. The other one will be in left field. If I have another pitcher, I know I can switch around. So let's just go ahead and get started with this 4th game. I'm going to go ahead and change the settings. We are playing the Giants today, so I'll turn on locator, I'll turn innings off, and I'll turn all of the unnecessary stuff off too. As you can see, we are the home team, which means we are pitching first. I'm not doing this in any speed run kind of way, but I just have so many habits from speed running that it's almost impossible for me to not do something that I'm going to be that would be used in speed running. Like, you can see me press escape or just click off of the player right there. I'm not trying to like click timeout after every pitch or anything like that, so it goes as fast as it can. But I mean, who wants to watch 45 minutes of backyard baseball gameplay? I wouldn't. And I love this game. So pretty easy first inning. You know, Keisha missed that ball, but threw out at second base. As you can see, Pete's being Pete, single up the middle. Amir's up next, but I'm just going to try and steal this. I'm pretty sure I'll make it. It looked like Pete was fast, so he's probably having a good day today. Yeah, there we go. That usually happens if you're running with a fast player. They'll throw it over to third base in case you try to steal another base. That's a good hit. And as you can see, Amir's not a super fast player, but he's fast enough. So what I'm going to do just to get our steal numbers up is steal second base here, and the catcher's going to throw it over to third base because Pete's over there. Oh, that was interesting. But I should score here. There we go. Perfect. 2 stolen bases and a run. I'll take that. Hi, Pablo. And a nice little dribbler over to first base, but Pablo should score. Amir's out at third. Or Pablo should make it to first base, obviously, not score. And then my personal favorite player in the backyard baseball franchise, just because I related a lot as a kid, because I had allergies, that should be a fly out. So I'm going to go back to first base. 2 outs. 1 run's already in though, so I'm not really worried about the score. Just trying to have fun and hit as many dingers as I can. That looks like one right there. And nope, it's fly out to left field. You know, I was talking in Discord the other day. I was the only one to have this game for a long time, or that had the ability to play it. I guess some of the players had the files but didn't know how to get them on a 64-bit system. And so after I explained that, one of the speedrunners, Yellowfish, has been having some fun with the seasons and has been playing with these very generic players, which are obviously in the code because they're in the game. And so I think he's doing a season on that later. If you are interested in that kind of thing and want to check that out. 1 out. A lot of foul balls, but let's make sure Mikey runs over. Mikey, come on. But I'd rather give up a bunch of foul balls than a bunch of home runs, so I'm not really worried about it. Tiffany Bosworth is probably one of the more memorable characters from my youth, just because she has a memorable name. There's a couple of those. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know. Oh, and that's true. I know there's just a few of them that stick with people. That's one hit given up. Not going to worry about throwing it around to get them out as fast as possible, but there we go. Keisha is a player that I've had struggles with a lot because I couldn't get her timing down for a long time. When I was a kid, the game I had actually made Keisha swing about a second and a half later after you clicked, kind of like Dante. And so I didn't use her for a very long time, and then after I put it on this new laptop that I have, she's been you know, doing what Keisha does. And then Dimitri's another one of my favorite players just because he's a young nerdy kid with glasses like I was. Still bottom of the second, 1-0. Nothing crazy so far. Obviously Tiffany Bosworth's pitching. I don't know her pitching stats, but she doesn't seem to have a huge area on any of her pitches, so I would assume that she's not super tired right now. That's a pretty decent sized area actually on her hook, so she might be a little tired, but she's only thrown 13 pitches. I do expect a pitching change right around the 3rd or the 4th at this rate, unless I keep doing this, and then, you know, she might be out of here by this inning if she gets up to like 25 or 30 pitches. And another hook, but that's a good hit, although it looks like it's going to be a fly out to left field. Oh, and that's the other thing. Errors are very strange in this game. Even if you have them turned off, they can definitely happen. So, you know, it's not a foolproof system. And then Ernie Steele, who's really just here for his defense, because I like his name, over at third base, you know, the best defender in the game, so I don't have a problem with him on the team, even though his hitting stats are abysmal and he can't run. And in the speed running world, he's also got one of the slower animations, so people don't usually try to pitch with him or have him pitch. And that's double play. So, top of the 3rd inning. Luann's doing okay. 15 pitches. Only 1 hit allowed so far. Ooh. And that happens sometimes if you click it too fast, like the thing hasn't popped up and I'm right here clicking as fast as I can, sometimes it'll glitch out and make it do an intentional walk pitch, so it'll throw it well outside of the zone. At this rate, Luann's probably going to be replaced before the end of the game, just because I try to play this. I mean, obviously it's a video game, so it's not going to be as realistic as it can be, but I try to play this pretty realistically. I played Little League Baseball for a long time, so I know if a pitcher's getting tired, then I'm not going to want them to pitch as much as I could, or as much as they can. I do know that there are pitch rules, like you can only throw a certain number of pitches, but those don't really apply here, and that'd be a really hard rule to implement just because I don't play this series every day and I'd have to record how many pitches they had last game. Or I guess I could just go into statistics. Man, there are a lot of foul balls today. Cindy Chang, another generic player that's pretty memorable just because of her alliterative last name. Here's Luann. Nice little bloop hit, but it's going to be caught by the second baseman. Oh, dropped the ball. And luckily she's not so tired that she is still able to make it to first. Okay, I'm going to get Luann to go back just because. Up. And maybe I shouldn't have done that because I dropped it, obviously. But Pete's faster on the base pass anyway, so I don't really have a problem with that. And then I'm going to make him steal here. Should throw it over the third base. Oh, nope, threw it over to second, and I'm hosed. That's okay, it's not a big deal to me. We're winning the game, so it's a nice little blue pit. Should get through, but nope, second baseman picks it up. Nice range and throws it over to first. Top of the fourth inning. Again, I'm doing my best not to do my speed run stuff, so I'm not clicking timeout as went through Ernie, who was there solely for his defense, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to throw this person out anyway. Throw it over to first, and Mikey tags him out. It's a nice quick inning here. I think I'm going to replace Luann after this inning. And if you are wondering about my microphone quality, it's horrible. I found my microphone, which is a really nice blue microphone, but unfortunately I can't find the plug for it, so I can't use it to record, so I'm recording on my laptop right now, which is okay. I made sure to adjust the audio beforehand to make sure that you can hear my voice, and hopefully you can. If not, then you can just silence this video. Or if you've made it this far, then, you know, do what you're going to do. That goes right in between three people. That should get through. Hopefully he makes it to first beforehand, and he does. So, good job, Mikey. A true 3-outcome hitter. It's going to be a ball. I think Ahmed's had a home run every game we've played. Maybe not. I haven't really paid attention to that, but, you know, obviously one of the more prolific power hitters on the team. We're just going to go back here because I think he's going to catch it, and he does. 2 outs. So next hitter's running on contact, and it's Keisha. It's a nice hit, but it's a fly out to center field. Up, and he dropped the ball again. That happens. Errors happen, so brings up Dimitri, who's got a single. I mean, 333 average. It's not the greatest for backyard baseball, but it's obviously not the worst average on the team. Better than Ernie and Luann, so we'll see what he can do. And Dimitri's got some power too. You know, he can hit the ball if he needs to, but that just looks like a grounder that gets through, and looks like everybody's going to be safe. A very, very lucky hit that bounced just to the side of the shortstop. But unfortunately, it brings up Ernie Steele, who is hitting 111 this season, and the only hope of him getting on base is either a walk or a very lucky hit. And as you can see, she's already at 32 pitches. It's usually around 35 or 40 that the computer decides to switch, depending on how many pitches have been thrown that specific inning, because they get a little bit of their stamina back if they don't bat. We'll see if they decide to pull her this inning. You know, obviously, if it was a real Little League game, 3 people on base. And a lot of errors today. I don't know why they're throwing it to third, but another error. Probably could have made it to third base, but it's going to be count as a single, and 2 runs have scored. Nice job, Ernie Steele. Now Luann Louise up. I am doubtful anything could happen, but she's already got a single for today. Even though a mediocre speed person and a very slow person are on base. We'll see what happens. And it's a shot right back to the pitcher. That's okay. 3-run score. We'll see if Luann makes it through the inning. Obviously, she has some power-up pitches that she can use, so I might want to use those with her before using up all of her. Oof, look at that area. before using up all of her stamina. And I think that's going to call the end of it, actually. So this will be Luann's last batter. We'll see what happens here. You can see her stamina is all the way at the bottom. We'll see if they swing at this. Nope. And this should be over the... Yeah, we'll see if this is a ball or strike. And it's a ball. It's a walk. Obviously, we can't do anything here. We just have to wait for her to get to first. And then I'll pull her, and I'll actually do some maneuvering around because she's lost a lot of stamina. So we're going to move her over to second base, and then do this. Bring Amir into pitch. Obviously, almost full stamina. Actually had full stamina. That was surprising. I guess he hasn't had a hit today, I don't think. Maybe a single. Yeah, because he stole a base, but... And an awkward double play, but a double play nonetheless. Ernie, stop running after her. And then Michiko Adachi, obviously another interesting name, or memorable name from one of the generic players. Pablo's thrown it all the way over to first base, but didn't make it. Amir gives up a hit. We have given up 3 runs, and there's a home run. Or we hadn't given up 3 runs, but now we've given up 2 on that home run. So I was going to say if we keep a 3-runner under lead, then we might bring Pete Wheeler in, who I've been kind of using as our closer so far this season. Looks like it's probably going to be that way unless we have a really big inning. We do have the top of the order coming up since Luann just batted, but we'll see what happens. Nate Kowalski up. As you can see, Amir's kind of struggling so far. That should be another hit unless... Yeah, that's another hit given up by Amir. Sunny Chang's already struck out today, but Amir's got a little bit of fatigue, so we'll see if that happens again. Who knows? She could swing and miss right here, or she could just let it by. Foul ball. You know, I'm not that worried because again, we are winning. We won our first game by 1 run. I think it was 5-4, but the other 2 games we won by pretty wide margins, so I'm not worried about this team. Obviously, this isn't the best team that you can get, but there's the out there over at second base. But these are just some of my favorite players, and then a mixture of good players. I might do a season with all of the worst players. That's a beautiful hit. That might be a home run. And it is, just on the top of the fence. Nice hit by Pete Wheeler, who's hitting over 800 right now, I think. Great eye by him right now. Obviously one of the, I think the second best player in backyard baseball, behind obviously Pablo Sanchez. But, you know, his speed and his power are just basically unparalleled. That's what happens when, according to him, he's 3 or 4 years older than the rest of these kids. So he's got a distinct advantage. He's bigger than all of them. He's stronger than all of them. And then Pablo here, obviously one of the most memorable video game characters of all time. Let's see if they... Yeah, he overran it. I figured they would. Can he get to third? And up. Let's go ahead and go back. Oh no. Pablo's safe, but I think Amir's going to be out here. Oh no, they decided not to throw it to second. That was a pitcher over there at third base, so if Pete was there right now, I'd probably run over there. But, you know, Mikey Thomas up to bat. Obviously a huge power hitter. And over at first base because he's one of the better fielders in the game too. I think he has full fielding. It's a ball right there. I'm actually going to basically give up Amir right here because I want Pablo to get a steal. And I'm going to let that go. So she's going to throw it over to third base. Amir's going to get tagged out, but I think Pablo gets credited with the steal. So that works for me. and that's a ball just outside. I was very worried about that one, but I figured I'd let it go. She's thrown a lot of pitches, 45 pitches so far. I guess she hasn't had a strikeout, but that's a pretty wide ball right there. We'll see what happens if you know, something like that happens. Mikey Thomas just gets it right through. Should be a single. Oh no, I think I messed up here. Let's see if he can make it back to third base, and he can't. He's out. But you know, there's only 2 outs, and Ahmed comes up to bait. He's 0 for 2, uncharacteristic, but you know, everybody has off days. Obviously, if you don't know, backyard baseball actually implements good and bad days, and there's the pitching change. So she made it longer than I figured she would, but you know, 47 pitches, that's not a bad outing at all, especially in 5 innings. That's a ball. In the backyard world, they have good days and bad days. They're implemented in this game, so you can't see the stat change, but the stats do change depending on if the players are having good or bad days. And that should be a home run. And it is. There's Ahmed, another home run. I think he was second in home runs at the beginning of the game, and there's another one, so we'll see where that takes him after the game. Keisha Phillips coming up, 1 for 2 with a single. It's a single up the middle again. Very nice hitting by Keisha today, 2 for 3. But in comes the bottom third of our order. Obviously you have Dimitri and then Ernie and then Luann. So Keisha's tagged out at second base. This should be the end. We're up by 4 runs, so I'm going to let Amir take the reins. Obviously, if he starts getting a little wild, we'll replace him, but I'm not very worried about it. And that's a bunt. Not a very fast runner, so don't have a problem throwing him out of first. Felix Grant grounds to Ernie, who's over at shortstop after the position change. And then Colin Clinker, who just came into pitcher. We'll see what happens with her. Swinging very, very late. You know, I'm going to switch it up right now. Obviously a ball, a little low. And there you go. Strike 3 to end the game. We have won 6-2. We got 6 runs on 16 hits and only 1 error today. That's not bad. And they had 2 runs on 4 hits. They had an abysmal 6 errors. And I believe this is with errors turned off. Everybody had 3 at-bats except for Luann today. Pete went 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a home run. He and Ahmed both had home runs. Obviously scored 2 runs, and Ahmed knocked in 2 with that home run. Pete, Amir, and Pablo all got credit for a stolen base, and Keisha had that error on the first play of the game. Luann had 1 hit allowed, 2 strikeouts, a walk, 39 pitches, only 5 balls, so 4 of those were the walk. 7 batters faced, no walks, only 2 balls, so good game for them. Obviously on the season, Pete is shining right now with an 833 average. That's just wonderful. Pablo with that extra at-bat glitch that happens sometimes. I'm not sure why that happens. You know, our top 5, 6 hitters even are hitting very, very well. Our top 3 hitters are doing crazy good right now, and then Ahmed obviously. Pete leads the team in hits with 10. Pablo's behind him with 8, and then both Amir and Ahmed have 6. Only 1 triple on the season, that's Pablo, and then Ahmed has 4 home runs this year. 3 other players have 2, and Amir has 1, or 4 other players have 2. Keisha has 2 as well, and then the bottom 3 haven't hit 1. The slugging percentage with Pete and Pablo is crazy, so is Ahmed. And pitching wise, as you can see, Pete has 3 errors and Keisha has 3 errors. Amir has 1. Those are from home runs. So if you can't catch a home run that's over the wall and is close enough to you, you get charged with an error. That's why that happens. Obviously, Amir's ERA is a little high after his last outing, but, you know, that's not a problem. Pete has 2 wins. Luann has 2 wins. Both have, well, Pete has a 0 ERA. Luann has a 1.45 ERA. Both are pitching very well. Let's see how the other teams did. Melonheads won 3-2 against the Rockets. Fishes won 4-3 against the Hornets. And the Monsters, who are undefeated, won 1-0 against the Wombats. So there are still 2 undefeated teams. Both are in first place right now, obviously. Ahmed is now tied for the lead in home runs. Pete has the lead for hits. Pablo in second. RBIs, Pete has 6. Ahmed and Mikey have 5. Pete is leading in runs scored. And then the batting average, Pete, Pablo, and Ahmed are in the top 5. Slugging, Ahmed, Pete, and Pablo, top 5. 2 steals for Pete, Pablo, and Amir, who are our first 3 hitters, so obviously they would have the top 3. Luann leading in earned run average, and then surprisingly not first place in errors are Pete and Keisha, as Jim Kiley on the Hornets is leading, who I assume is their center fielder. Alright, that'll do it for this episode. As you can see, we are 4-0. We play the Hornets next week. Thank you for watching in. I've been Trev Dog Backyard Baseball. Hope to see you again in a later episode.